Hello everyone. Hope you all are happy and healthy. Let's begin with the new topic, which is the object of study. It is an essay published in the book Course in General Linguistics, compiled mainly by Charles Bailey and Albert Sacher. It is a collection of lectures delivered by Ferdinand de Saussure at University of Geneva from 1907 to 1911. I urge you to kindly see the video made on Ferdinand de Saussure. It will help you greatly in understanding this topic. I have provided link in the description. Anyways, Saussure is known as father of modern linguistics. He is a structuralist and has given theory of sign. Now let's talk what essay is about. In this essay, Saussure is interested in talking about what language is, what is structure of a language, and what function does linguistics have. Then, he is trying to explain what exactly is the object of studying linguistics and how one has to find object while studying it. He has brought to our notice the various complexities that a language possesses and has given solution to this. He reduces language to a very simple phenomena. We will see further how he distinguished mode of studies and how he introduced new terms so that it would be easy for everyone to understand in a simple yet clear way. Now, after getting some insights of his essay, we see that he begins the essay by asking what is the object of study for linguistics. He states the complexity in it by mentioning that it is very difficult to decide what exactly is the object of study in a language. He reminds us that if we look at the other disciplines, let's say archaeology, it has an object, and this discipline knows that its object is to study human history and prehistory through excavation of sites and analysis of artifacts and other physical remains. But when it comes to the language, there is no one object fixed. It includes many objects within itself. So in defining language as a system, one must take into account everything that goes into language as a whole. Therefore, it becomes difficult to pre-decide object of study for linguistics. Moving further, Saussure says that object of study can be understood only when we utter a word. He goes on to separate speaking into three parts: the physical, the physiological, and psychological. He says the physical part contains the sound waves, which travels and strikes our ears, so that we make sense of what person in front of us is speaking. Then comes the physiological part, which deals with physiology concerned with hearing and producing words using vocals, that is phonation. The next is psychological part. It is over here when sound patterns that we hear are getting connected with the concept. It is only because of psychological part we are able to understand words. Let's take an example. We hear a sentence say, weather is pleasant. It travels through sound waves and reaches our ears. This is physical. Then our ears reciprocate it and we respond to the one who said it by using our vocals to answer, yes, it is. And the mechanism which made us to respond was our understanding of the sentence. We suddenly draw a picture in our mind to recollect a pleasant weather, and here psychological part plays in. Now let's see what Saussure has produced in his theory. First, he distinguishes between synchronic and diachronic study. Then, he introduced two terms in linguistics. First is parole and the other is lang. These 2 points have been discussed in the video containing biography of Ferdinand de Saussure. Please go and check it out. Next is relation between syntagmatic and paradigmatic. Syntagmatic refers to the structure and paradigmatic refers to the choices of words. Saussure said that these two words are interdependent upon each other. Further, in the essay, the chapter on nature of linguistic sign is separated into 3 parts, containing first, sign, signified and signifier. Second, arbitrary nature of sign. Third, linear nature of sign. Now let's see these in details, starting with sign, signifier and signified. So, the study of sign is called semiology, and its function is to understand nature and concept of sign. Saussure says a sign is a two-sided coin containing combination of signifier and signified. We see that signifiers are the sound images and signified is the concept. Signifier is physical concept whereas signified is mental concept, and the relation between them is arbitrary. Now, he states some problem of language. He says, some people consider language as a naming process only, but this conception is not acceptable to Saussure. He finds many misconceptions in this. It means that ready-made ideas exist before words. Another problem is that it does not tell us whether a name is physiological or psychological in nature. As a solution to the above-cited problems, Saussure defines linguistic structure. He states that the linguistic structures are that faculty in the study of language by which the articulating words, natural or not, are put in use only by means of linguistic instruments that are created and provided by society. So he means that linguistic structures are socially constructed, and it is through this structure that humans make use of language in a society. He says linguistic structure can be studied independently in a language. Saussure states that the linguistic unit is a double entity. There is an association of two terms. First is the sound image and second is the concept. He has shown that these both terms are united in brain by an associative bond. See in the picture, it shows speaking circuit. We see communication process. Here it is psychological imprint of the sound, the impression that it makes on our sense. And the images become clear when we observe our own speech. For example, we can talk to ourselves without moving lips or tongue because we consider the words of our language as sound image. Sound images means the realization of the inner image in discourse. Sound image is sensory that makes possible to mentally recite poem or speak to ourselves or even hold conversation. The linguistic sign is a two-sided psychological entity elements. Concept and sound images are interdependent. Whether we try finding meaning of the Hindi word paid or the word that Hindi uses to indicate the concept of tree. So this makes us clear that only associations permitted by language appear to us to form reality and we ignore whatever others might be imagined. The next part is the arbitrary nature of the sign. The bond or relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. Here, arbitrary means there is no natural or logical relationship or inert relationship between signifier and signified. For example, signifier dog can be represented by any other word or sign in other language and can have its own meaning. As a result of arbitrariness, different languages have been created or have come into existence. Arbitrariness as a feature dominates all the linguistics of language. There is no particular reason why signifier should be attached to a signified. Arbitrariness of the language has become a complex system. Signs are sometimes called as symbols. But those symbols that are not wholly arbitrary, there is a natural bond between signifier and signified. For example, the symbol of justice, a pair of scales, cannot be replaced by just any other symbol. Individuals does not have the power to change the sign. There are also signs who have no natural connection with signified and go against the principle of arbitrariness. These are onomatopoeic words like ding dong, tick tock. These are used to prove that choice of signifiers are not always arbitrary. They have natural connection between words and their meaning. However, their number is small. They lose their original character. Interjections can be attacked on the same ground, though they appear to go against the principle of arbitrary, and thus they are of secondary importance. An arbitrary nature of sign is backed by convention. It is because of this arbitrariness of sign, language is subject to change and variety. Now, the last part is linear nature of signifier. The signifier is auditory and has characteristics as it represents a span. This span is measurable in a single dimension. It is a line. We see that some linguists appear to neglect it, but results are immeasurable. The whole mechanism of language depends on it. In opposition to visual signifiers, auditory signifiers have at their command only the dimension of time. This becomes clear in writing. There is a position between what goes before and what comes after. Now, according to the linearity principle, the signifiers can be segmented into parts succeeding each other in time. This is recognized by Saussure as a chain of speech. Significantly, this principle proved to be of immense value to linguistics as a language can be distinguished from other subsystems on the basis of linear character. So now let's see the conclusion. After all we have discussed, the question is, what was the need to develop the whole theory? And the answer to this is because Saussure wanted to establish linguistics strictly on scientific grounds, and it was due to his efforts that language is now looked as a system or a science, and the terms like science, signifier, signified, arbitrariness, and linearity have fixed meaning attached to them. That's it for this video. See you next time. If you wish to have notes of this topic, then please check the description below. And if you like my video, then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.